Awesome. Thank you. Well, yeah, thank you for having me today. My name is Juan Vazquez. I've been a Microsoft certified trainer for more than 25 years. So I'm also the CTO for DT Software. And for the last few months, I've been working with Power Platform and I mean, especially for the AI Builder and integrating many other Azure AI services, right, with the Power Platform. And today, what we want to talk about is basically what are the differences between AI Builder and Azure AI services, and how do we integrate those into the Power Platform, whether you are creating Power Apps or you're creating copilots. So you have many different options, and that's what we want to show you today. So first of all, thank you to our sponsors. Without them, it would be really hard for these events to happen. So thank you. And so first things first, what is AI? So basically the term AI or artificial intelligence is a different range of software capabilities that enable applications to exhibit human-like behavior. So that's what we know. And I think one of the more of the hardest part of the AI is how do we integrate those features into our applications or agents. And we have many different type of models that we can use in our solutions, whether you can create answer for questions with generative AI, or you can create agents, or actually you want to identify the objects in a picture or read the text inside a picture, you know, probably process natural language, like, hey, if the user provide us feedback in an agent, is that feedback good or bad? So that's part of the different models that we have available, right? We can also extract information from documents or from different forms, and actually we can provide the decision support. So it's really important that when we start creating solutions, we already have in mind what we need from the AI models, or actually which models are good for our solution, right? For the task that we need to perform. Whether you want to process documents, like if you have an invoice or probably a receipt, or you want to scan or read a business card. So all these tasks is are part of the AI models that even AI Builder or the Azure AI services provide, right? You can create document processing applications, or you can process text, actually, I don't know, probably applying sentiment analysis to the feedback from our customers or suppliers. We want to detect the language where the people is writing or sending messages to our agents. So it's really important that we understand these different tasks, or actually you can generate responses using models like GPT, or draft an email. All these models are available. And actually you have pre-built models where you just can integrate those models into your applications, or you can actually customize specific models, right? So we have different options. And this is where you have AI Builder, or you can have Azure AI services, right? You can sometimes, most of the times, you can perform the same tasks with AI Builder or with Azure AI services, and we will discuss when to use each of them, right? So once you have these models and you know which task you want to perform, it's time to integrate. Even if you start with AI Builder, you want to integrate those in your app or your agent or your Power Automate flow. And it's when you really want to use AI Builder. The great thing about AI Builder is that integrates easily within the Power Platform, whether you're creating apps or Power Automate flows or actually Copilot agents. You can actually integrate those or in different products, right? So it's really, really straightforward to use. AI Builder is great for makers, I mean, or citizen developers, probably professionals that are not developers, pro developers, but you can actually just integrate these models into your applications as we will see next. So remember, we have Power Platform, we have Power Apps to create applications, or you can use Power Automate to create flows, or Copilot Studio to create your custom agents. So how does AI Builder integrate here in the Power Platform? It's really, really easy. So you have a list of models available within AI Builder. And these models, many of them are just ready for you to use. And all you need to do is even create your application and start integrating this model, or create your Copilot and then create a Power Automate flow and integrate these models from the AI Builder. And that's basically what you need to do. So you have all these models. Many of them are pre-built, or some of them you need to customize and then integrate in your app or your agent, right? So we will start here with a very, very simple model, a demo, that is basically a card reader demo, right? What you basically need when you start with the AI Builder, so you need to go to your Power Apps or your Power Platform website, and then you can go to AI Hub. And inside AI Hub, you have all these models where you can start creating your own models. And here you can go to your Power Platform side, specifically the AI model, the AI Hub, and then you can start creating different models. But for many of those models, you don't actually need to come here first, because when you have a pre-built model, you can just use it in your applications, and that's what I'm going to do now. I mean, I'm just showing you the AI Hub, because later in the demo we will come back and we will create a custom model. But for now, specifically for Business Card Reader, you can just go to your solution, and then you can just create, let's say, an application where you can just create an app. Probably you want to create a Canvas app. And once you create this, you can create this for the tablet or for smartphones. And let's create a AI Builder demo. So once you create the application, for those models that are pre-built, you just need to add the component here. When you're creating your application, your Canvas app, you have available here an AI Builder. You have the AI Builder section, and then you can just start adding these pre-built models like Business Card Reader. You just add into your application. And with this application, obviously, this is a premium feature, and you can just close this dialog. And then here, you already have a component that can start reading business card, right? It's obviously better if you rename it Business Card Reader. It's easier. And then what you can just do is start adding different elements or components into your application, like, hey, I want to display the name, and then I want a text label or probably a text input component here. And with that, you can start making reference to the Business Card Reader and get the different fields that it will pull from the business card, right? So here, when you have your application, we have the text input in the default value property. we can just make a reference here, BC Reader dot, and then you have all the fields that this component will be able to read from the business card, and then you can just display here, like, hey, I want the full name here, and then I want probably the company name here, company name, and we want this also to get that company name, BC Reader dot company name. I don't know, probably the position for or the phone number, say. So you have all these fields available, and as you can see, basically these properties are read automatically by the model. You don't have to train this model because this is a pre-built model that already has different features automatically for you. So here, if I get the phone number, it's let's take a business phone. So once you run your application, you can save it, and then you can just play your app, and then just scan a business card. Obviously, I'm loading here from an image, but you can just use your tablet and the camera, and that will bring that information from the business card into your fields, right? So here, and then we have the phone number. So that is a model that is pre-built, and you just need to add to your application. So it's the same with the receipt processor. So if you want to create an application for travel expenses and you want to just use the AI builder, we also have a receipt processor, right? Here, you can just create another screen for your app. Let's say another screen, an empty screen, and then it's pretty much the same. You basically grab the receipt processor, and here, what we want to do is pretty much the same. So if we take a look at that document, so basically here we have a receipt, and we can take a look, and we have the phone number for the business, the date, and then we have a list of items that were purchased in this receipt. So here, what we're going to do is we want to display some of the information. It's pretty much the same. We can add the, I don't know, probably the date of the receipt. We also have the phone of the company, of the restaurant, say the restaurant here. Let's copy this, and then we can just add the phone number. But here is important to mention that when we are using this receipt, we have an array or a list of elements or items that are part of the receipt. So here, this is an array, and we can grab that information. Like here, let me add the text input here, and then it's the same that the business card. So basically, you add the receipt processor one, and then you have different elements, like in this case, or fields. You should have the transaction date, and then we have the phone number of the restaurant. We don't have the name of the restaurant in this demo for this picture or this receipt, but we have the phone, right? When you start running your application, you can just click scan receipt, and then it will do the same that we did with the business card. But once you have that information, once you have this, we have this array here, and then this is we can use a gallery, let's say a vertical gallery, because we want to get the fields from that from the receipt processor. So let me grab this here, and at the item, in the items, we want to get access the same here, receipt processor one, and then we have the purchase items. That is the list of the items on the receipt. And then you have here, we have the name of the item, and then you can just copy this here, and then you have access to some other fields, specifically the price. We don't have the quantity here, but if we had, we could get access to that field. So we can show here the total price, and then we have that information directly from our receipt into our different input text or into our gallery. Once we have this, obviously we can use Power Apps, Power Effects to insert this information into our database, whether it's a Dataverse table or probably a SharePoint list. So with this model, you can basically have access to the different pieces of data from your receipts, or in the previous example, from the business card. Now, these are two models that are pre-built, right? But then you can also create or train your own models, right? Like if you want to go here, you have models for documents where you can extract information from documents, right? In this example, you need to train the model and provide different samples to train the model. So if you go to AI Builder, AI Hub, and then you have the different types of models here, extract custom information from documents. Here, what you want to do is you want to create your custom model and then train that model with different samples from invoices or any other kind of document, right? Here, what I have here is an example from a few invoices here. So to train a model in the AI Hub, when you have a custom model, you need at least 5 different examples of your documents so you can train your model. Here, you can train, actually, you can grab just invoices that's pre-built, or you can just create a fixed template document. And then what you need to do here is you need to create or define the different fields that you will extract from your different documents, right? Here we want a text field like, hey, if I open one of the invoices, you can go here and say, okay, I want the invoice number, probably I want the date, I want the balance, the customer name, or any field that you might need, right? So I'm gonna make it simple because you can actually read the different items from the invoice, but here I'm not gonna do that because it will take more time to train the model. So I'm gonna just add the invoice number, right? It's a text field. Same for the invoice date. You can create this field as a date field, but for this example, I'm just gonna create this as a text field. Probably you want the amount, and then you want the customer name, and I think probably that's it for now. So what you want to do is you want to create a collection of documents, and you need at least 5 documents, and then you can add those documents from your device, or you can grab from I don't know, probably from SharePoint or any other storage where you have these documents. So I'm going to add those 5 documents. I need at least 5. And then once you upload your documents, you need to start training in order to find or get the information from these documents. Once you do this, you can just start using the different samples that you have. So if you just drag here. Then you can say, hey, this is the invoice number. Probably I need to do this smaller here. That's it. And then I need to add the date, invoice date, then the amount, customer name. Oh, okay, so invoice number, here it is. And then what you have the first document. Then you can go to the next document here. Let me take a look. I think I'm missing something. Then you can go to the next, do the same invoice number and the amount, and then the date and the customer name. Say with that, then you go to and you do the same for all the 5 documents here. And once you have this ready, you can just start training the model, invoice date. And once you train the model, you can use this in your own application, right? So let me do that. Probably it will take a few minutes in order for the model to be trained with dates. And then you grab this here. This is the amount, and then you have the customer name. So it's like this. And finally, we do the same here. Invoice number, date, amount, and customer name. And this is great because you don't need to be a developer in order to create your own models. You just need to upload the documents and start creating your model. So this model will be invoice reader model, and then just rename it. And once you have this, you will go to train the model where you have 5 documents, you have all the fields mapped, and this model will start, the AI Hub will start training your model. It will take a couple minutes here to be trained, but once this is ready, you can just publish the model and start using this model in your application. So let me go back to my application and let me save it. Okay. Probably I want to publish, and once this is trained, so it will take a minute, we will be able to start using it. So let me go back to the presentation here. While we wait for that model to be trained, we can also use some other models like the sentiment analysis, where probably you have feedback from users, and then you want to find out if this was a good feedback or probably not so good. So you can use these models. So this is still being trained. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go back to Power Apps, and I will create a Copilot here in Solutions. So I go to My Solution, and in Agents, so I can start creating an agent, right? So you click here, Agent, and that will open Copilot Studio, and there we will be able to, a second, there it is, this is the account. So we can create an agent, oops, and then we can start using these other models. Let me take a look. So this is the other model is still being trained, so it's okay. But here, when you're working with Copilot Studio, you have many other options where probably you want to create this agent. And I'm going to go straight and create the agent with Copilot Studio. And here, what you can do is when you have this agent, you can create different topics so the user can provide feedback, right? Like here, what I want to do is basically, I want to disable these options, the orchestration, because I want to trigger the topic with a specific phrase, right? So here, I'm going to go to topics, and I'm going to say, hey, I want a new topic. I will start from scratch, and this topic will be triggered with a phrase. I want to provide feedback. So this is what the user will type, and then we will ask a question to the user. Hey, okay, sure, we can help you with that. Sure, that's great. Enter your feedback here. So here, once you have this, you can change the type of answer of the user. The user will be typing, and we will have a variable here, and this variable would be user feedback, right? When you have that here, you can let's save this topic, user feedback. And then what you can do once you have this topic ready, you can create a Power Automate flow that will process the user feedback. So you can go here, and here, add a tool. You can create a new agent flow here, new agent flow. And then what you need to do is just need to get the input, and that's basically the user feedback. And then using AI Builder, you can process that feedback. So here, when the agent called the flow, we want to create an input, and that input would be user feedback, right? That is the input. And here, what you want to do is you have the AI Builder connector, and then you will have access either to pre-built models, or you can use your custom model. So we have analyze sentiment model. You can just add it. And then what you want to do here, 1 second, it will create the connection. Second, so here, let's see, it's trying to sign in. Let's sign in. And once we logged in, we should be able to use this connector, and we can change the parameters. In this case, probably this is an English. The feedback will be provided in English, and then you have the text that you want processed. That's the user feedback that is part of the input. And once you do that, you will have access to the output values here. And probably what you want to do here is the sentiment, and we will get this value from the AI Builder. So we have the parameters or the output values from the analyze sentiment action, and then we can just get this specific value, and with that we can get the response from the step, and then we can return that. I think this is not right. A second. I think we have the overall sentiment, because we don't want to read the different phrases. We want a general or the overall text sentiment. With that, let me delete this. That's why it created a loop, because it was reading a different value. So second. So what we want to do is we want this task here. Let me delete now here. And the output is the overall. Save draft, and then you can publish it. And then we can just connect our Copilot to this flow, right? Basically, what we want to do is we want to rename that. We want to rename the flow, but for now, I'm not going to rename it. I will just connect to our agent. So I'm going to go back to the agent, and then I will be able to connect the agent or the topic that I created, user feedback. I want to connect this to the flow that we just created. Here we have a tool. tool. And then, I need to rename it, but for now, I will just pass the variable as the input parameter here, and then we can grab the sentiment as the output from the flow. So here, if you want to send a message, you just want to probably display, okay, just want to display the sentiment that is returned from that Power Automate flow. So here, the user, when this user is connected to our agent, basically this user will be able to say, hey, I want to provide feedback. That will trigger our topic and say, just this is a great agent. I love the service. And when the user responds to that question, that should be able to trigger the flow and then return. In this case, we're just displaying the response from the model. And that's basically say, hey, this is a positive feedback, or you will get this is a negative. And this is really, really easy to integrate with your agents or with your apps. So this is a really good model that we can use. So here, the other model that we tried to create, that we start to train, should be ready. Let's take a look. Let me refresh this. So the model is already trained. And if you click here, you can just publish this model. Basically, it says that it's 99% accurate, and then you just can publish. And once you publish your model, you will be able to use this model in your applications. Once it's ready, we can go back to our Power App, and then we can use this model, this custom model, into our app or integrate into our application. So I can go back to my app here. I can create a new screen here, and then I can go and look for this specific model right here. I can go to AI Builder, all right, and then we have the form processor. Once you do that form processor, you should be able to get that custom model into your application, and then you will be able to get the information here. Then I will create just a couple fields here. This will be the invoice number. So this is the form processor one. Form processor one, and we have the fields, and then we have the customer name here. And then you can just copy this, and then we have more fields available. And those are our custom fields that we created, invoice number. And here, we can just give it a try. Like here, just click the invoice, and it will read the values from our invoice using that custom model. So here we have Leadware Inc., and this is the value, and we have our invoice number that is here. And so that's how you can start using a custom model that you train in order to read the information from that document, right? So that is how you can start using your AI Builder. And as you can see, you don't need to create or develop any code other than just integrate this into your apps, your Power Automate flows. And this is a great tool for citizen developers, right? People that is not a pro developer, right? So this is the demos that we did. And now we also have Azure AI services. We have AI Builder for citizen developers, but if you are a pro developer and you want more control and probably cheaper option for your for the integration of AI models into your applications, then probably Azure AI Service is another option. You can make more, customize more settings in these AI services. And basically, most of the models that are available in the AI Builder are available inside the Azure AI Service, plus some other models that we will be seeing. Okay, so what you need to do here is you need to have an Azure AI subscription in order to start creating these services. And then once you create the services, you can use SDKs, right? Like if you are developing with C# and Visual Studio, you can just add the SDK reference into your project, or you can start calling the API directly. Obviously, it takes more time using the API rather than using the SDK. It's always better, easier to use the SDK. But you basically need to go to your subscription. Here I have a subscription in Azure, and then basically you go to Azure, to your Azure subscription, and then you start creating the different services, right? So if you want to use the language, you can look for language right here, and then you can start creating this service, a new service. You can create this, and then with the language service, you have, as you can see, you have access to the sentiment analysis and many other features that you also have access with the AI Builder. But the difference is that here probably it's you have more control on the configuration of the models. And also, as I was saying, you can pay per use. You don't have to pay like, I don't know, probably when with AI Builder, you are purchasing more requests than probably you need, right? But here you pay per use. So here you create the resource, and once you have that resource created, I'm not going to create it here, but once you create, I already have one here. And here, when you look for the language, so I can take a look, I already have one here created. What is it? I have a language here. So once you have your service created, then you get an endpoint. As a developer, you can have access, or you need to connect to this endpoint, and you get the keys to make the request to your service. Here, I have a project that I created with Visual Studio, where basically, once you have the project and you create the project with Visual Studio, what you need to do to start is you need to go to the references here, and based on the service that you want to use, you need to look for the SDK. Like here, I want to use the Azure AI Text Analytics. That it's basically the service that I created, and then I just integrate that reference into my project, and then I can start creating this code in order to make calls to that service, to that endpoint, by using the endpoint and the key, right? With that, I can just make reference, like I just created here a sentiment analysis here, and basically here, what I need to do is just basically get the endpoint, get the service, and then I can create the Azure credentials, make a reference to the endpoint, and create text analytic clients. With that, I can send the feedback. It's probably the same example that I did on the AI Builder, but here I'm creating code in order to make the call to the text analytic client, specifically the document sentiment class. And then once I have the text, I want to send the text as a parameter to the analyze sentiment method. That will respond the request, and then I can have access to the response and get the sentiment, right? Once you have this is basically the same that I did previously, but with code. Once you publish this API, you will be able to make a call by using post request, REST request, and then I can send, hey, can you analyze the sentiment analysis? This is the text that I want to analyze. I also included the language detection. So when I call this method, basically, this will be calling that method, and that will return the sentiment and the detect language. That is the same method that I use, or the same model that I used previously, but here I'm using, instead of using AI Builder, I'm using Azure AI Services to do the same feature, right? So if you want to integrate this into your, say, your Copilot agent, what you can do here is basically you can go to your topics, and then probably you want to call Cloud, create a flow, and then with that flow, you can call with an HTTP method or action, you can call that endpoint or that API, right? So let me look. I already have that flow here. Let me look for it. API. Topics. Okay, here it is. So I have this, and the topic or the flow is called Sentiment API. So if I take a look at this specific flow, I will be able to see that instead of calling an AI Builder method, I'm just calling an HTTP here, and then sending the value of the feedback, user feedback, and that will get the information from the API, and then all I need to do is just parse the return JSON, and then I can display that information to the user or do whatever, anything I need with the response. In this case, it's returning not only the sentiment, positive, negative, but also the language. So if I want to know the language, I can use other methods and other classes here, right? So basically, when you have these Azure AI services, you can create your own or use your own models, and basically you have access to vision, you have access to speech, you have access to language, like I did here, like sentiment or language, identify which language the user is writing in, right? So you need to go to your Azure AI services and then create the service that you need, and then using add the reference, get the endpoint, and get the keys. With that, you can start creating the code to make the different calls to the specific models that we will be using, right? So here is the code that I use, basically creating the endpoint, create the credentials, make a reference to the endpoint, create the document sentiment analysis, document sentiment, and then I also use the text analytics client to detect the language. So that's how you can start creating. Obviously, it takes more time to develop something than just connecting to the or using the AI Builder connector, right? So all you need to do is just add an HTTP call and process the results. Okay. Now, the other thing, there are many other services, not only, you can also use Azure AI Search. And this is a great option if you want to create RAG applications, okay? So RAG applications are basically these solutions where you want to create generative answers using your own data, Okay, so this is also a service that you can uh, get from the Azure AI, from the Azure portal. You need to create the service, and then you need to connect the Azure AI search to your data. Okay, so I have this example, a small example here, where I have a table in a SQL Server database. So I have a machine table, and this machine table basically uh, has different machine types. I have the machine name, the type, the color, the feature, and different fields for this table. So what you want to do when you need to use Azure AI Search, you need to go to your portal, to the Azure subscription here. And then what you want to do is you want to create a search service, right? With the search service, you can just create it. Like if you want to look here, Azure AI search, and that will allow you to create this service. And once you create the service, what you need to do is create a connection to your database, or your storage. In probably you have PDF, right? And you have a blob storage. But here I have a connection to my database. So here you can add the data source. And with the data source, basically you want to say, hey, I want to connect to a SQL Server or a Cosmos DB, or I have my files in a PDF. So you create that, and then you can start creating the indexes, right? And with those indexes, you basically are saying, hey, I want to index these fields from my table. And once I have that, I can just integrate this in my Copilot, in my Copilot agent, right? So here, what I'm going to do is if I have an agent in my Copilot Studio, what I want to do here is, once I have my Azure AI service configured and I have indexes and everything, what I want to do is, when I have a Copilot agent, I want to go to my knowledge. Okay, so previously in the previous session, we were saying, hey, we have PDF or we have SharePoint, but here what you want to do is just add the knowledge, and with that knowledge, instead of using like they say, oh, you have probably a PDF in a SharePoint site or public website, then what you can do here is you can just select Azure AI Search and make a connection to your indexes. I already did that here. So if I want to go here to my Copilot, this agent was previously created. So what I want to do here is, give me a list of machine types. And that should start looking into this knowledge, and it should respond with specific information. So that will give me, hey, so you have these machines, or probably you just want to say, hey, give me a list of machines. And basically here, it's getting that information. Oh, no, this is not. Okay, so give me a list of type machine. And once I have that, I can ask questions, because it triggered another topic. I was about to start ordering a machine. So here it gave me different machine types, and it got the information from the Azure search, AI search, and it's getting me this information. So basically, if I take a look at my database table, it's saying that the machine costs $4.99. It's available in blue, red, and white. If we take a look at that table and we look for the machine name, we want to make sure that the response is correct, the answer. So here we have the price, right? And then we have the different colors available, and that is providing me the information for the machine. Say you want information about a different machine, like, hey, I want information about Crema Cuatro, right? Give me details about Crema, right? And that should be able to get the information from that machine, right? So here it is. So basically, we have the Crema Cuatro, we have the machine types, we have the colors available, and we have the price. And as you can see here, we have the reference. These numbers are the reference to the Azure AI search that we have. We can remove that, making a few changes to the agent, and that should be able to fix it. So Azure AI search is a great option if you want to provide your own knowledge to your agents, right? So if you don't want to create probably a topic that basically process the machine name and then querying a database, you just want to put that information into your Copilot, you can just add Azure AI Search, create that service, add the connection, and that will create create the indexes, and then bring that information into your Copilot agent, right? And finally, just to close this, you can use Azure OpenAI, which is basically a service that gives us access to some of the most advanced models like GPT-4 and many others. And probably what I've been doing lately is add my agent, my information to the Azure AI search, and then with Azure OpenAI use this information to create generative answers to questions, right? You can use these models to create or provide additional information to your users, right? So if you want to create customized answers to questions for the users, you can use Azure OpenAI, and actually you can create your own agents without, probably, if you don't want to use Copilot Studio. But in that specific case, you can you need to add some code in order to use those features from the Azure AI service, right? So as we've seen, basically, we have two different options, or we have many different options, but specifically, if you are not a developer and you are a maker and you're creating solutions with low code, with a low code or Power Platform, then you can use AI Builder. But on the other hand, if you are a developer and you want to create more customized features and integrate other models, probably more advanced, then you can use Azure AI Services or Azure OpenAI to integrate this into your solutions, right? So that's basically what I have for you today. I'm not sure if you have any question about this.